Okay, welcome everybody. This is Trevor Burnett, the Director of Product Marketing from Impartner. And looks like we're at the top of the hour, so we will get underway. I want to thank everybody that's either joining now live or watching this recording. And just as a reminder, this recording and all recordings of our monthly webinars, we do post on the customer success portal. So hopefully you have access to that. If not, get in touch with your main contact at your company or your account manager with Impartner, and we can set you up. But basically, later today, this will be updated with this month's recording, as the most recent one will be posted on the homepage, and then the registration for the February 20th session, which is our next session where we will be joined by Rob Franks, the Director of Solutions Engineering here at Impartner, who's going to talk about CPQ, and that's next month. And if you need to see an archive or you want to check out any of the past webinars beyond just last month, which is on the homepage, you can go into the resources area, and I've put them all under the collection of video demos and webinars. So there are all the previous month's webinars and recordings there that you can watch at any time you like. All right, so getting back to what we're covering this month, we have added a new best practice during implementation. So I brought on our top project manager from the implementation team of Annie Parkinson. So we have a pleasure to have her join us today. And she's going to talk about this new PRM admin role that we're advising as a best practice that either while during implementation or at any point, whoever is the main point of contact to manage and maintain your PRM system. And I'll go ahead and turn it over to Annie here so she can introduce the role, and then we'll have a little bit of Q&A at the end. So at any time, if you have questions come up, please enter them into the questions area of the GoToWebinar session. All right, Annie, take it away.
Thank you, Trevor. As Trevor mentioned, my name's Annie Parkinson, and I'm a project manager over the implementations here at Impartner. Today, I just wanted to touch on the PRM admin role. It is a new role that the implementation team is emphasizing for a couple of reasons. When we've looked over all of our customers and those that were successful, we noticed a common theme of having a designated PRM admin. You may ask, what is that PRM admin? They will have similar responsibilities as the CRM admin, but more focused on your partner relationship management tool. Having a PRM admin will decrease the implementation time overall, as well as ensure some long-term success with your solution. Go ahead to the next slide. A couple of characteristics of the PRM admin that we look for this role to fulfill is the ability to manage user and administrative profiles. So as you bring on team members throughout the implementation process that will be using the tool internally within your organization, the PRM admin should be the designated role that can administer those profiles and set those permissions for your users within the PRM admin tool. They should also be familiar with creating automated workflows. This is one of the most powerful tools within the PRM solution, and really the options are endless there. So somebody that is a subject matter expert on how to use these automated workflows will only continue to make your solution more robust over time. It is also crucial that they have experience with syncing database fields. So as you sync your CRM to PRM, ensuring that you understand the structure and how the two systems communicate with each other allows for this admin role to really successfully help troubleshoot over time and really dial in the connection to serve your partners through through the tool. An additional role, or skill rather, is experience in configuring online forms. So this is really the partner-facing role, right? You want to be able to draw partners to your forms, to your deal registration forms, and other forms that are displayed within the portal. The admin should have, experience from the partner perspective to make that easy for the partner to fill out those forms, but also to ensure that the data that you are collecting from the forms is flowing into your CRM properly and growing your channel in the way that you would expect. One of the bigger skill sets of the PRM admin is the ability to manage assets and content. As you know, we have a couple of very powerful tools, the asset library, as well as CMS 3.0. And having a PRM admin that really understands the ins and outs of both of those tools within your platform will help you not only maintain your ongoing solution, but will help to engage your partners through the content of your portal. And it can really contribute to the growth of your channel. And ultimately, through obtaining all of these skills as the PRM admin, this will further their understanding of the channel, which obviously is the goal of the solution.
Excellent. Okay, so I wrote down, as Annie was telling me about this PRM admin role and what we recommend having it at each of our client companies, I wrote down a few of the questions that I had and that I had run into just to better understand this role. And so I want to go through these real quick, and then also, as I mentioned here at the end, please add any of your questions you have, and we'll give a little bit of a demo of how to set up each one of these roles within the Impartner admin tool. All right, so my first question was, which job role is it generally at the company that becomes the PRM admin? Is there a common title that usually takes on this responsibility, or have you seen anything like that, Annie? Oh, I can't hear you if you're responding.
Thanks, trying to get myself off mute there. So commonly at the start of implementation, we see the CRM doubling as the PRM admin. And that is due to the knowledge around the base of your solution, which is your CRM, and getting that database syncing that I spoke about previously set up and working for your solution. Over time, the role will morph into potentially a channel manager role. However, depending on the structure of your company and its needs, it can change and evolve over time. So,
very good. All right, and is it appropriate ever to have more than one PRM admin at each company?
Well, like I mentioned, the role can morph over time. However, it is ideal to have that single point of contact that understands the PRM solution and can be the go-to SME on the solution for your internal company. Having a single point is really great. They know who to come to with their questions and requests to build out your solution.
All right, that makes sense. And what kind of training or knowledge is needed for this role if somebody's just stepping in?
Well, I'd like to talk a little bit about where the training begins for this role. And of course, as the project manager over implementation, I really see this role starting at the beginning of implementation. When we are building out your solution, we're defining those requirements and really throughout the implementation process, and then beyond the implementation process, the training continues. So the knowledge base really for the training is the customer success portal, and then of course the customer forum. along with these highly recommended webinars, which include product release webinars. So the training is really ongoing, like I mentioned, all the way from implementation and beyond. As Impartner releases new pieces of our product, again, it's ideal to have that PRM admin who can, dig into the new feature and see how it can be applicable to your solution.
Very cool. And what materials are available to help out?
We have a couple of, quite a few actually, videos on the customer success portal with training, as well as some supporting documentation. And like I mentioned, the customer forum is really great to reference. You can see what others are doing, maybe what common best practices there are between current customers. And then, of course, we're invested in your solution, so we want to ensure that if you do have any questions, you can always reach out to your project manager or the customer support team. There's an ongoing, training that we're always willing to provide around our solution. We want it to be performing and working for you at its best. So if you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to anybody, whether you're in implementation and it's your project manager, or if you are through the maintenance piece of your solution and you're on to customer support, we're there for you. Reach out to us.
Excellent, well said. And just as a quick sidebar, we had a question roll in just to make sure we're being clear about what this PRM admin role is. They said that is this PRM admin role, is this a person being assigned to your account, or is it somebody internally?
So this is so the PRM admin role is somebody that we look for our customers, so you, to identify internally within your organization. Does that answer the question?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right, so we have all of our Impartner resources. There's from the project managers to the account managers, support team. And I think what you're saying is the PRM admin role is somebody on our customer side, or on everybody that's listening to this, to have assigned within your company to be the main point of contact. Perfect. All right. Thanks, Megan, for that question. All right. So what are the common mistakes to avoid?
You've noticed that I've probably mentioned a single point of contact quite a few times. The most important thing is that we have somebody that's the go-to person internally at your organization. However, it is important that as you are building out your solutions and as you look to integrate new product releases into your solution, that you're socializing the decisions and that you're making around the structure of your solution, and to avoid working in a silo. A lot of times we see people kind of get off on the one track and come back and say, oh, we need to change this. And so, from the implementation perspective, socializing the decisions, ensuring that everybody that's a stakeholder within the solution understands the structure of your solution is important. And then, as I mentioned, ask for help. If you have some questions around best practices or what others are doing, your strategic account director is there to help kind of flush that out and create that long-term path for your solution and how it can best support your channel and the growth.
Very good.
And then one important note that I do want to make is that along the lines with being invested in your solution and being willing to assist at any point, we have a big event coming up called ImpartnerCon. It's a really great event to attend to receive direct access to our engineering and development teams in the Brain Lab. It also provides a lot of opportunity for networking with your peers to see what others are doing with their solution. And then, of course, we have many sessions that you can attend that are led by industry-leading experts. So we highly recommend that you attend ImpartnerCon, and if you have any questions on that, please reach out to your strategic account director. I do believe, Trevor, correct me if I'm wrong, invitations have gone out to everybody, so we look forward to having you.
Yes, that's correct. While space is limited, we send out invites to the designated main contact that we have written down for each one of our clients. So if you didn't see that or didn't hear about that, and you are not sure who the main contact at your company is with Impartner, then you can reach out again to your strategic accounts manager and find out the status of that. And we can make any corrections if our noted main contact is incorrect or needs to be updated. And as I always like to shout out, since it is my baby, I want to talk about the customer forum for just a little bit. Since that is what we have created as some of the great things about ImpartnerCon, while it's an amazing event and we have industry-leading experts coming to give sessions and talks and everybody's there to network, and it's a really great time, we want to take a little bit of that magic of the once-a-year event and put it into an everyday application here. So that's what we're trying to do with our user forum that we're calling Impartner Nation. So if you haven't signed up yet or checked it out recently, please do so. All you have to do is click on the registration, fill out your email and name, and you're in. I get alerts every time somebody comes in, so I rapidly approve as quickly as possible. But basically, we put best practices in here. We have a lot of SMEs internally at Impartner that's regularly posting information, tech tips, things like that. But the biggest thing is we want each one of you, our customers, to be able to network and ask questions of each other. A great example is what Karen Pastorino here did. Asked a question about MDF. Hey, how do you guys avoid everybody just doing a mad grab for cash at the end of the year and have those funds used a little better throughout the year? And then we had one of our consultants, Reagan Wilson of Achieve Unite. She came in, gave some good responses. Olivier, our manager over in the EMEA team, had some good feedback. So there's a lot of good, knowledgeable, experienced people that you can ask questions of or even share your own ideas and best practices and really get the conversation going. So highly recommend checking in periodically. You can search if you're trying to find something of, oh, I have this question about workflows. Let's see what kind of content has been put out about that. Well, at least we have one. I think there was a few more. There we go. I had to make it singular. And then you can see all the other topics that have been there previously, or of course, if you want to post a new discussion or even a question, the difference being when you ask a question, it tags it differently. Like this question that was asked of how you do a bulk record deletion. I added my answer here, and then the person who posted it can mark it as the accepted answer, and it gets highlighted there in case there were other answers that may not be quite as applicable. All right, so that is our user forum, and you can always come in to the activity area, see who are the most recent people that are joined. We have gamification tied to it, so there's badges and whatnot that you can earn. We're trying to make it a fun and interactive tool there. Just another way to get information and get it faster. And instead of the old way of opening a ticket when you had a question, it can be something that everybody can benefit from when you get that answer, as we're finding a lot of similar questions were being asked in a one-on-one environment. All right, so the other piece is, the last question here for Annie before I let you go are, what are the most common sub-admin roles that people configure within the system?
I would say the #1 most common sub-admin role is for content. So like I mentioned before, we have CMS 3.0. Creating this content admin role can allow your admin to log in and modify content, but maybe avoid making some transactions like approving partners or applicants into the system. So you can designate out, somebody that is in charge of the content and allow them to only access that feature through creation of that admin role.
Very cool. And I will show how to set that up within the PRM admin. So if I come in to my Alta demo portal here, as many of you know, this is where I like to live. This is where I've set up all of our sample environments and different best practices or test scenarios. And for that scenario that Annie mentions of having a content admin, we have the capability to do different roles or segment the tools that are available within your internal admins. In the case that you're not having a single individual run the entire show, your designated PRM admin is the one that's set up as what we call a super admin, or has all of the administrative tools available to them. Oops, I meant to go to list roles. And by default, if you haven't configured any custom roles within your instance, it will at least have the administrator role, the portal API, that's for our own internal purposes to connect your portal to the back end. And then it will have a user role, which apparently we have updated or removed from this demo system. So those are your default ones that you'll see. Oh, and the web service integration is the other one. Which the web service integration and the portal API, those you'll never want to touch. Those are for integration purposes. But then, as you can see, we've added multiple here. And every time you create a new role, you can just click on Add. And it gives you the option to just create from scratch, have no boxes checked, or you can base it off of a previously created role. So let's say that I wanted to just create that content admin role. I have one that's both content manager and a partner application approver. So I'm going to update that one and just make an exclusive content manager only. And this is helpful if you want to allow somebody to have those capabilities, but not mess with your workflows or do anything else that are the other admin capabilities and lock them down to just that functionality once they access the portal. So we're going to go ahead and say, yes, let's give them access to the Reseller View website. That should be saying Impartner PRM Reseller View. It still pops up every once in a while. It is the legacy name of our tool, and we apparently have not expunged all versions of it. So yes, I want to grant them access. So there is possible to set up an admin, but not give them access to this entire website. That would be applicable if they were just a partner application approver, because you can do approvals through emails and specialized links through those email alerts, and it logs them into a special view that isn't actually this full Reseller View website. All right, and so I will say, yes, I want to give them permission, and because they need to manage the content. So pretty much won't have any tabs available, but they will have the ability to click on that pencil icon and be taken into the CMS interface. And then I'm going to double check, well, this is all the permissions that we copied over from the template to approve applicants, so I don't need them to access any of this. Well, actually, I want them to be able to co-brand documents since they're in charge of content. Same with files, don't have access to users, and assets is the one I missed. So we'll give them creation on all these, and they can update. Sure, they can delete, why not, and export. We'll give them all that. So that is what I would say, once I finish checking all these boxes, is the ability for a person that can have access just to the content. So you're able to create these roles, modify them, and I recommend anytime you create a new role to create at least a test user, so you can validate it, log in as that person, as that test user, and make sure the permissions are correct and you don't give them too much or too little access according to what you're trying to do there. All right, so now once I've added that role, I can add new administrators or go into any existing ones. Let's say that Adam Bird is somebody that should just be that content manager role. So there we go. And next time that individual logs in, they will only see that restricted access that I have set up there. All right, now we have a submitted question saying, is there good practices as to how to organize the content in the asset library? That is a really great question. And it will take a little bit longer. I'll take that offline to address that immediately, but I did want to, once we have our new assets library updates in place, I was about to address that this month, but I wanted to wait until our new release coming in the next few weeks is live, just so it has the newer interface and the newer tools that are available. But yeah, there's a lot of good ways to organize the content, especially with how we're changing the asset types to the categories and to put them into different collections. So I'll answer that offline for now, but we will definitely have one of these webinar sessions, and maybe I'll make a post on the customer forum so you can have it in multiple ways. A quick explanation within the forum with a walkthrough, but then we'll dedicate some time to our next webinar to do a live walkthrough. But yes, thank you for asking that. All right, unless there are any other questions, we can go ahead and close this month's session. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming and listening to the recording or coming live. Really appreciate all of our customers and the interactions that we have with you. And again, hope to see you next month and that you sign up for ImpartnerCon if you are the people that were invited or the correct contacts to come. Love to have you out, and it is in the 1st of May at that beautiful resort there in Park City. All right, well, doesn't look like any other questions, so we will go ahead and close the session. Bye, everyone.